Hey, what's up? So let's continue on with the 1973 run of Garo. What I've got here is the April issue, so the 116th issue of Garo, and we've got a cover by Susumu Katsumata, who has a very interesting chapter in this issue. So, what I will say about this issue though, it might be a shorter video just because a good amount of these chapters in this issue I couldn't really understand because couldn't translate it properly, and I only got the gist of it, so I guess I'll be skipping over some stories in here, although I'll still be flipping through them. It's just that I won't be able to explain what is going on in all of them. So let's just get into it. So the first thing that we have is we do have a Shinichi Abe chapter, but this here is just starting us off with a little color page by him. Here are the table of contents. We've also got in this issue, I believe, like 2 mangaka that I've never heard of about before. And it's the first time that I've experienced reading a chapter from them. So very psyched to be able to show them off in this video. I've got another little section here by Akasegawa Genpei. I believe this says this month's dream. So I'm guessing that it's like a recounting of one of the dreams he had. But the very first chapter that we have here is called The Time of the Ox by Susumu Katsumata. So this story here is actually based on the Japanese legend of the Ushi no Kokumairi, which is supposed to be like a legend where someone can curse someone by completing this sort of ritual. And what we have as well, I'll just pull it up close. This here is the cover page up here, which is great. So just to explain the Ushi no Kokumairi, so I'm just going to quote this off of Wikipedia because beforehand, I think I have heard of it, but I didn't know the specifics of what it was. So I'm just reading off Wikipedia. So the Ushi no Kokumairi refers to a prescribed method of laying a curse upon a target that is traditional to Japan, so called because it is conducted during the hours of the ox between 1 and 3 a.m. So the practitioner, typically a scorned woman, while dressed in white and crowning herself with an iron ring set with 3 lit candles upright, hammers nails into a sacred tree of the Shinto shrine. In the modern-day common conception, the nails are driven through a straw effigy of a victim impaled upon the tree behind it. The ritual must be repeated 7 days running, after which the curse is believed to succeed, causing the death to the target. But being witnessed in the act is thought to nullify the spell. So that last part is very important because essentially what we have first is the woman we saw here. She is the sort of main subject of this story. She is the woman who will be committing or trying to curse someone in this story here. And we follow this old man who happens to walk out one night and witness her driving nails into an effigy, straw effigy. So we get to see her close up and what she's doing here, but the whole time the old man is taking a look. And as I said before, as I was reading the wiki out, being witnessed in the act is thought to nullify the spell. So this old man has unintentionally stopped the curse from happening. And so he meets her. A couple of different things that happen, which I'll skip over, but yeah, essentially he realizes that, I believe he realizes that he screwed up and confesses to someone that he what's it called? Yeah, he confesses to her that he saw her. So yeah, curse is not active. And I believe she goes crazy in the end as well. So I apologize if I'm not explaining like correctly because it's been a while since I've read this. But that's what I wrote down in my notes at least. But yeah, this was really interesting for me because it was referencing that ushi no kokuma in more detail, and it's cool learning about that type of stuff. But yeah, great story to start off the first to start off the issue. So the next one we have is by Shinichi Abe, Shinichi Abe, titled Heaven or Tengoku. This was one of the stories which I didn't really understand fully, and to be honest, a lot of Shinichi Abe's stories kind of are quite hard to, or a bit confusing to understand. But this is what I could gather. This is also a very long chapter too. What I could gather is something about a murder that happened in the town, maybe some adultery. But this chapter is not in the Miyoko Asagaya Feeling compilation that is in English or in Japanese, so it's a completely separate chapter. But always love the art style of Abe. Can draw backgrounds, and this whole sequence of the snow is very cool as well. But yeah, this is the murder here. We have, I guess, some people pushing this boy off of a bridge. Very gruesome panel, actually. But man, it's always great to have Shinichi Abe chapters, even without knowing the story. Very atmospheric. Very, very atmospheric. So speaking, like, since we're on the topic of Shinichi Abe, I am planning, this were just as a disclaimer, this won't be for a very long time because I will actually have to read through the works that these three authors have done. But I want to do a video on putting together a video on the 1-2-3 trio, or the Three Crows of Garo, which are Shinichi Abe, Oji Suzuki, and Masuzou Furukawa, which I have mentioned about before, and I've definitely shown off their works in previous videos. But yeah, in order to do that Three Crows of Garo video, I would have to have read more of their stuff. So in terms of Shinichi Abe, I haven't read too much, mainly one-shots. Masuzou Furukawa, I've read a lot of, again, just one-shots from his Purple Legend series, which will also be in this issue. Oji Suzuki, a decent amount. I would say I have read the most from Oji Suzuki. I've got his A Single Match English release, which is amazing. But yeah, that's an idea that I've had for a video for a while. I think it'd be cool to just cover them together. And my issue here is a little hole in it. But yeah, just while we're on the chapter of Shinichi Abe. And also at the time of recording, I would say, so today is the 15th of September, maybe a week or two ago, the 160th Axe issue was released with some unreleased works by Shinichi Abe being posted in that. I'm not sure if it was doujin work, but definitely they featured an unreleased chapter from Shinichi Abe, which is pretty cool. I will be picking that up. But yeah, so that was Heaven by Shinichi Abe. Next we have Traveler-kun again, Nagashima Shinji. This one I'm not too entirely sure either what is going on, but I think it's the third chapter of this series here, who's just a little boy who's traveling, and I guess he encounters really weird things that happen. Has a lot of monologues as well. So Nagashima Shinji has a very good grip on these sort of playful stories too. So yeah, next one is, as I mentioned before, the Purple Legend series by Masuzou Furukawa. This also was a little bit hard to understand, but what I could tell from it is like a sort of a story that leads up to some fights between delinquent boys, I guess. So I guess there's just a lot of conflict in here, and this is the build-up, which I'm not really certain of what the build-up is and why they're fighting or how it happens, but you'll see shortly as well that it will come, the fights will come. Well, yeah, having a blast reading these 73 issues. To be honest, I haven't been reading too much Garo as of late. I'm trying to get through a lot of my, like, the books on my shelves. I'm just going through them one by one. So Garo right now I haven't touched for quite a while. I think the last one I read was probably a 1991 issue. I think it had the Maruo Suehiro cover, which I'll probably showcase soon enough. But here we have the fight happening. But yeah, I really do want to get back into Garo sometime soon. Every so often I'll just pull an issue out and read it, so yeah. Fights, but the fight here, yes, I do remember now, the fight here does get out of hand. They've got like, I guess barrels of oil that are being set alight, which is going very far, but here's a little moody panel there. That is very, what's the word? Gekiga, especially with Garo and the people who were drawing manga in the 70s. I feel like it encapsulates a lot of that mood of a lot of the stories back then. And yeah, that was the end of the Purple Legend chapter by Masuzou Furukawa. So let's continue to move on. This one is, as I mentioned at the start of the video, this is a new mangaka. I believe the name of them is Satou Yoshiaki. And the story here is titled Old Friend or Old Comrade. This one was quite an interesting one. I have never heard of this manga before, but we have a main character and their friend, Oda-kun. And so this one, I think I posted this up on my Instagram a while ago, but this one, just out of context, was very funny. I guess he's just trying to read and learn English. But what Oda, he is, I guess, a kid who's pretty sensitive. He cries very easily, so that's him over here, and that's our main character. But they're friends, and one day he's sort of scared of this monster that he created with a drawing, and I think he enlists the help of his friend here to try and get to the bottom of it. So yeah, I love the art though. Very nice. So I guess the two of them try to figure out what like is going on with this fear of this monster he created, that he drew. Turns out that they can't, of course, but later on what happens is that Oda moves out, so moves to a different place, and it is said that he joined like another political group, and we end off the story with our main character wondering if that monster will come out again, and it ends there. So that was a pretty interesting one. Story itself, very mysterious and quite vague, but I enjoyed the art a lot. This is probably my favorite panel from that story there. And my second favorite panel would probably be this one here, which is just funny just looking at it all the time. But yeah, Satou Yoshiaki, Old Friend. An interesting story. And so the next chapter is also by another new mangaka that I This is my first encounter with them. Their name is Tomio Kaken, and this chapter is called On the Way Home, or I think this reads Kairi Michi, so the path home. This one was very weird. I wasn't sure if I was interpreting it or understanding it correctly. I don't think I understand the full story correctly. But we start off here with a boy who is trying not to shit himself. Which is a very interesting start to a story. He's trying to walk home and without, shitting his pants, and there he is taking the shit. But it also turns into a story about like some people getting beat, I think, which will come later. Yeah, some bullying, I guess, which I am not too sure about. But yeah, so that's all I can really say. I apologize. I don't really know what happened in this story, but definitely the first part of it was just the boy trying not to shit himself. The ending, I guess there was just some fighting. I'm not too sure. Yeah, this is why I said this video would probably be a shorter one compared to the other Garo videos. More stories in here that I didn't really understand. So this one is another one by Kawasaki Yukio. Rest in peace. I think I have talked about it before, but he only passed away recently, which is quite sad. But this is a chapter by him as well. I do plan to pick up one of his tankobon. I forgot the name of it, but I think it's a horror manga, something to do with like cats in a village. Don't remember the name of it, but that one is a little bit on the expensive end, but I do plan to pick it up one day because that seems that's the one that seems the most interesting from Kawasaki's selection of works. But of course, once I do get it, I will show it off here on the channel. So let's move on to another one. If you've seen the other 73 issues, you'll probably recognize this art style. This is Pukaritopia by Iwamoto Kyuusoku. So they do nonsense, gag, comedy type of works. And here is a story about a duel between two people on a log, I guess. So this guy's here is at sea. He goes and finds his opponent, also with some blowfish weapons. And I guess they just duke it out. So we just got a fight scene between the both of them with very nonsense sequences. And I guess he wins that one. So yeah, that's Pukaritopia by Iwamoto Kyuusoku. Next one is a story by Akiyama Shigenobu, who, as I've explained before, I don't really prefer their stories, so I didn't read this one. But art is very cool. I love this sort of what's it called? It looks like ink is like sprayed everywhere. Love that texture to their art, but stories aren't my thing, unfortunately. But yeah, he has put out quite a bit of stories throughout Garo, definitely in the 70s. I don't know if it extends past the 80s or not, but yeah, that was a chapter by them. Another one by Shintaro, The Tale of the Gourd Heard by the Rich Man. Something to do with this rich man and his story, which I didn't really understand. So I'll just flip through this. Very simple drawings. Reminds me of like kids manga, I guess. Shintaro, I have read a couple of chapters from him before. But yeah, and I think there's one more. The last one. Oh, this one's an interesting one. I didn't know what to make of it, but very interesting. This is a story titled Nakadoko Sekichi, who might be, it just might be the name of a character, but here we switch over to like a black ink, because everything here was like blue. So last story is a black ink, and we're set in like a hairdresser shop or salon, and essentially it's about one hairdresser who turns out to be a little less sane than you expected him to be. So that's him over here. It's a hairdresser. Nothing really happens for a lot of the story, but you get this first scene here where he just notices someone drowning and does not help them. Very very bad sign of what type of person he is. And so we come to the end here where he's cutting their hair, and in a very gruesome and kind of disgusting scene, he cuts into the skin of the person while he's just like, I guess, I don't know, in a fever, cuts into the skin, and he's just bleeding out while he is over here, I guess, enjoying everything. So yeah, a short chapter about a psycho hairdresser, which I did not expect. We've got like a rendition of the Scream, whatever that painting is called. But yeah, that's the end of this specific Garo issue. A bit of a shorter video. Oh, actually 23 minutes, not that short. This was a great issue as well. I think my favorite story out of everything was, it was either the first one by Susumu Katsumata, the Ushi no Kokumairi chapter, or I would say the Satou Yoshiaki one. This one here about the boy who is afraid of the stories he creates, or the psycho hairdresser one, to be honest. That was very unexpected. I did not expect that at all. But yeah, great issue. We'll be continuing with the 73 issues slowly, but hope you guys have enjoyed this one. We'll see you in the next video. See ya.